much gotta let gravity do most of the work. Takes a lot of moving around. This gravity only got one thing in mind, wants to go all the way down. Not to curate, work with the glass.
So was the tool that you're using from cold, hot, it's just room temp?
No, with brass, you actually have to get it pretty warm because it will scorch and gentrify the glass.
Perfect.
And cool it down so quickly that it'll just start to crack whenever you're.
Gotcha, so you leave that piece hot.
Yeah, gotta get nice and warm, cover it in a little bit of beeswax so it glides onto the glass. Sculptural work is all about tweaking, making sure it looks good. As you can see, I got a little moon shape going on, but there's still a lot of polishing I want to do before I can get that decent shape. So I want this to switch downward. So I'm gonna fold it upside down and let gravity do its thing. And kind of slowly pull all that glass down to that point, and it's gonna make it look a little bit more natural and organic. There we go, I got that little shape. The only thing math taught me was that what you do to one side, you have to do to the other. I got a nice little moon. I can use either side. That's kind of the benefit of having what we call our little punty right over here. Back and forth. This will be our first stage. It's kind of gives us a little bit more refined area to work on. This right here is the second stage. Not all torches have that, but most of them do. Some of the larger torches. Pretty much what that does, it allows us to get a bigger flame. This flame right here is sitting between 6,000 and 10,000 degrees.
How hot is this furnace right now?
Right now, in this second stage, the furnace actually reaches up to 1,050.
So it's on its way there, is that what it's doing?
Yeah.
It's flashing?
So it kind of varies. We keep stuff really warm in there. It kind of just maintains the temperature without getting cracked or broken.
What makes the equipment we have at 10-Bit Works, like our dedicated kiln, so important for this process?
So the best part about 10-Bit, we have probably one of the best kilns that you will see in the market. The reason why is because it's got its own little analog, it's even got digital, you turn it on, you program it, and voila, you got some amazing heat work right there. It helps anneal, does programs, does everything you would basically need. Another amazing part about 10-Bit is that we've got all these tools right here, from marble making to scoring your glass to measuring certain heights and weights and all that fun stuff. And there's just so many tools to our advantage here that we can use for various lights of glass blowing. Another amazing tool happens to be this GTT Phantom has a first stage and a second stage, which basically means small flame, big flame. And that's pretty beneficial because one of these torches is pretty much one of the Cadillacs of glass blowing torches. So the viability of everything that you see here will last you a good 10 years without causing much problems. So 10-Bit's a great place to work, and not to mention we got these hardy backer benches, which pretty much prevents any sort of heat transferring into the wood below, causing any fire damage or anything else that might be a little dangerous.
Speaking of fire damage and heat, let's talk about the heat. How hot does it really get? And what's the #1 rule for staying safe in the shop?
Well, let's put it this way. Another important tool you're going to want is a fan. Now, I brought this one from home, mostly because I already run pretty hot. This torch alone is going to be at a minimum 3,000 degrees. And if you don't think that's that's hot. You must really like Texas. On the other hand, we got the kiln sitting over there at 1,000 degrees, radiating heat over, and the larger pieces that you're working on, it's going to get hotter. So you want to make sure that you're wearing even sunscreen on your face, sunscreen on your body. Not necessary, but never hurts to be too safe. And with no AC, we're still managing. Make sure you've got some water and some electrolytes on you. And dress comfortably. Not too loose, but a little comfortable enough to stay a little cool in the heat.
What's the biggest mistake most beginners make when they first try glass blowing?
I think the number one mistake is people don't learn safety. And safety is going to be your best friend. One example would be like if you're sitting here with an open flame, this is pretty bad. You don't want all the propane that's seeping out, leaving knobs open that are very dangerous, especially if you're leaving propane on and you decide to work. That could cause a huge combustion. We don't want to do that. Making sure that the kiln is off, making sure you're not tripping over wires or exposed hoses. That is another big one. Making sure that a lot of the glass that you're using, if it does end up hot, making sure you're not touching it to your clothes. There's a lot of simple mistakes, but one thing that you can avoid and do to help make sure that you are not running into these issues, ask your instructor about safety, about what can I do to avoid this, how can I stay cool, what are some things that I should know about the tanks, regulators. Glass blowing in its entirety can be dangerous, but it's also the most rewarding and amazing art that you will ever experience.
Do you have to be super strong or have really powerful lungs to blow glass?
I go to the gym pretty often, had to flash a little bit, but you definitely don't need to be strong. Something as such as this 5mm rod, you can lift with 2 fingers. Spinning just takes a little bit of hand work, wrist work, but definitely no strength is needed at all. You could come in and just kind of sit down, work on your work, learn a little bit of gravity.
What about strong lungs?
Lungs. If you're working on some very large tubing, you don't really need strong lungs. You just need to know how to pace your breath. That is all you're really going to need. If you need heat right here, make sure you're heating it up, blowing into it, and rotating. It's all about the rotation.
As a professional instructor, what do you love most about teaching this craft to new people?
I love being a teacher. So I love teaching, I love being around people, I love talking. And my favorite part about teaching would have to be, I wish someone had told me that if you make a mistake, it's okay. And if you keep making mistakes, you're still learning. I think when I first started, I was so caught up in trying to make it perfect. And that's the best part about glass blowing. You don't need to be perfect. And I encourage my students to totally mess up, because it's only going to get you further. And even messing up for me actually helped me develop a style that I really like.
For anyone watching this who thinks it's awesome, how can they sign up to try it themselves?
So the best way to sign up, if you have any questions at all, reach out to me with any concerns that you might have. Then we can get you signed up through 10-bit.
Can you give us a 30-second tour of the tools that you use the most?
Yeah, so if you want to come a little close, we got right here what's called an L marker. This is going to help shape a lot of your glass when it's molten hot. It's in that little L shape, so it gets all corners, all sides, and tops of whatever you're working on.
Okay.
The second main tool that I use as a sculptor are these little babies. These little babies are amazing. They help squish glass. I can help pull away glass. Really used for a lot of different stuff, making, crafting, sculpting, illuminating. The third and most important is this knife. This helps me carve beautiful lines into my glass, but it wouldn't be anything without using a little bit of beeswax. If you sculpt right into it without using any beeswax, it will scar your glass. But this, best tool, best investment, and most importantly, it was $0.
How do you get those amazing colors into the glass?
We have the benefit of having a huge palette to our advantage. A lot of these colors are made with multiple minerals and chemicals. So much options that we have. You get some of these deep whites, which are very opaque. You get some nice translucent colors, all made with copper, zinc. Use a lot of silver, gold, anything you can think of, is probably in our glass rods.
What are the basic steps to make something simple, like a paperweight or a small cup?
We've got different sizes of clear. So we've got 2mm, 3mm, going up all the way into huge 27mm. Now, a lot of this glass comes in various thicknesses. And the most important thing and most important lesson you're ever going to learn gravity is your best friend. If I've got a nice little rod and I'm sitting here boiling it in the flame, as long as I'm making sure that gravity is hitting it at the right angle and I'm holding my glass at the right angle, all that gravity will gather up, just like how it sounds, and it's going to make a nice little sphere, or what we call blinks. After that, you can chuck it right off. There you go. You got a paperweight. You don't even